This movie looks like a comfy cliche detective thriller, and it is. Charismatic and vile villain, check. Detective with shades of grey trying to catch him, check. Incredible and shocking showdown between the two, check. Detective brings the perpetrator to justice. Oh. Now, a dark or bad ending for a detective thriller is not unheard of. Heck, one of the most iconic examples of this genre has one of the darkest endings ever put on film. But what truly grabbed me and why this movie refused to leave my head for so long is because the killer, the real killer, was hiding in plain sight, right in front of us now.
कॉकरोच कितनी भी बॉडी बना ले, जीत हमेशा जूते की होती है.
We see Prem, a lovable and charming man, being the caretaker of an obscenely wealthy mansion watching Kaun Banega Crorepati, right before he talks to his lovely wife and then gutting a schoolgirl he just kidnapped. The character detail of him watching this show in particular is incredibly clever, as it shows the kind of doe-eyed and naive hope he has against his will. That hope that one day he too could make it, one day he too could become rich beyond his wildest dreams and escape where he is right now. On the other hand, we have our protagonist Ramcharan. His motivations are more obvious and relatable to the everyman. The average police officer with a loving wife and child to support. He's only ever been on the right side of the law. He's the furthest thing from what Prem is, but in the end they have one similarity, and that is that they both believe in that statement. The difference being, one takes to taking advantage of this corrupt system from the outside to try and serve his own begotten needs, while the other chooses to stay in it for fear of what could happen if he stepped out. And he sees it every day, a wall of perpetually missing children cases that exists just as police station aesthetics at this point. I mean, look at how he treats the father of a girl who was just kidnapped. This girl was this man's soul and happiness, and she's gone.
आपने लापरवाही करी, आपकी बेटी गायब हो गई. यार देखो यार, राजीव कैन से बच्चे आज से तो लुप्त नहीं हो रहे हैं. ये कार्यक्रम तो सालों से चल रहा है.
The social commentary is about as subtle as a hammer to the face or wall to the head. Am I right? What makes the movie so compelling is how it blends this with the core of a detective thriller plot so seamlessly. Well, there's a detective thriller plot here, by the way. Prem Singh is the house help of an enormously wealthy businessman who just happens to have a taste of sexual assault in human flesh. He's honestly comically evil, and Vikrant plays him up with Prem feeling both unbelievably monstrous and just as flesh and blood as anyone else you'd meet. The wife and son he seems to truly love, and the jokes he rattle off add a lot of dimension to him. He's not just a caricature of an evil man. There's a lot of contradictions present within him that make him quite compelling. Ramcharan Pandey is the very much corrupt hack police officer stereotype we've seen numerous times. He's lazy, treats his life or death job as a glorified power trip, is a cynic, and is also an incredibly small man.
समझा? तू देता है क्या वेतन मुझे? तू देता है?
Deepak Dobriyal disappears into the role of Ramcharan with a lot of restraint and subtlety, helping ground the film further, especially when proceedings approach fantastical levels of screwed up. But it's only when Prem tries to and nearly does kidnap his own daughter does reality slap him in the face. After that, a cat and mouse game ensues where Ramcharan runs into Lassi. He's the wealthy businessman who has employed Prem as his house help. He's also most probably in on all this weird shit Prem is doing, but nah, look at him. He's a cute fucking teddy bear. Around the time Ramcharan is investigating the disappearance of a girl named Chunki, we see this scene. Now we've seen and been told by Ramcharan himself how long this kind of thing takes to resolve and what kind of resolution it generates. They find him in 2 days. Like I said, about as subtle as a hammer, it's humbling how the film portrays the disadvantaged as symbolic mulch to be used and discarded. The victims that we see missing on the station wall have weight because we've seen these scenes. We know that behind each of these posters is an incident much like these. Meanwhile, one rich kid is kidnapped and he's brought back home within a matter of days. These kids are meant to be fed on and used. You think I'm referring to them being raped or eaten, but no, it's another layer of despair. Their organs are sold for a quick buck by Prem. Not only is this entire class of people just irrelevant and pointless mulch, but they're also mulch for each other. It is division within division. This isn't entirely surprising if you think about it. Ram Charan's own juniors are vying for the position he is in. Likewise, the very children and people Prem is kidnapping and killing are the people he is closer to than the wealthy businessman whose house he lords over whenever he's away. The only way for either of them to escape this is to do what they're doing right now. Obviously, the one to blame here is Prem. We're also justified in blaming Ram Charan's character for not apprehending this killer earlier, only stepping in when one of his own was threatened. But when he does try and reform himself, his senior suspends him and bribes his underling to screw up the investigation. In fact, the person that helps the most through this mire and muck is ironically Prem himself. Because he ends up confessing to a T. The setup to the scene is brilliant and entirely unassuming, with Prem going on and on about not missing out on the show and insisting that he'll answer all their questions, guaranteed that they'll let him go.
तो जो भी पूछना है अभी करो शुरू। तुम ये चुन्नी घोष नामक महिला को जानते थे? हाँ जानता था। कहाँ है? वो तो मर चुकी है। मर चुकी है मतलब? मर चुकी है मतलब मर चुकी है। मैंने अपने हाथों से उसका गला घोंट के मारा है उसको।
And he does, down to the last detail.
उठाया और दे उसके गले पे मरोड़
के पकड़े रखा,
घोंट के रखा। ए साली अब जब मर गई,
Beat them.
तब करा ना सेक्स। सर बात ये है कि मामा को मारने के बाद ना मेरे को इंसान के मीट का टेस्ट बैठ गया मुंह पे।
Disposed of their bodies.
कौन है ये बच्चे? जिनकी बात कर रहे हो आप, कौन है ये बच्चे? कोई दिखता भी है उन्हें?
It's the highlight of the movie for sure, because it's only now that Ram Charan gets a glimpse of what the Cockroach is pushing up against. Throughout the film, as I say, we've ignored and left Basi out of the equation. Partly because Aditya Nimbalkar played this out like a professional. I mean, look at the amount of appearances he has on screen. He's kept in the background quite deliberately and quite intentionally to emphasize the overall point of the movie. Partly because it's the same in reality. We know that he's complicit in some manner. This puts all sorts of thoughts in our head, but they're never at the forefront. Because we don't see him too much, and when we do, we kind of rationalize that he is definitely a background character who's not the evil villain Prem is. We look at Prem as the problem, at Ram Charan as the other problem, but never at this man or how he uses his power to get what he wants. This stretch reveals to us who everyone is in this movie. Ram Charan isn't the boot chasing to crush Prem. Ram and Prem are both cockroaches. Basi is the boot. When Ram Charan makes this one last trip to get the evidence required to bring justice, he discovers that Basi was more involved than we previously thought. It was not just Prem. And just as he's about to return with this, he runs into the boot. It's a horrific journey it takes you on while using this murder mystery as its hook, effortlessly blending a compelling murder mystery with a field trip through various socioeconomic inequalities present in our country today. Your affluence doesn't just determine your financial worth, but your literal worth as a human being. And while this film and many others give you hope in their endings that maybe justice will come knocking, if not now then later, reality tragically says otherwise.
Allahabad High Court has today acquitted the two prime accused in the infamous Nithari murder case involving children and women as well.
That was the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it was worth the wait. It was one of the more serious videos we've tried to do. I hope it doesn't come across like we made light of it, given that the movie is tied to something that really did happen. That was quite awful. During the writing process and editing process, we had to really make sure that we weren't joking about or playing it in a way where it made light of what really happened or made light of the film in any way. I hope that came through. It was a lot of fun to make, as always. This movie has been fairly underrated and not really spoken of after it came out. Kinda sad, because you can see there's quite a lot of meat in it, and that's kind of why we wanted to talk about it. And speaking of the time period that it took, a big reason why this took so long to do was...
Yes, we have a content house officially.
Water or toilet paper content house.
We only shoot real content here, and it basically moving in and out those logistics took a lot of time. We had to set up the house and all of that. And now we have a bunch of videos in progress.
In the bank.
We have the Athadu Nostalgia Journey.
That will be the next one. And then after that, we have kind of a big video based on a bunch of Rajinikanth movies that we have
In preparation to Coolie.
that we're watching in preparation for Coolie. So that will be fun as well.
After that, we have a video we are planning on Shubham and
Yes.
a video for Kubera.
Yes.
And a bunch of reels that we want to work on.
Real shorts. It's a content house.
It's a content house, and we will be.
Just content.
And every time we have a big movie release, we will also do live streams. Yeah. That is what it is. These are the updates. Do follow us on Instagram for more updates for sure. We are a little more active there than on YouTube.
I know.
And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching this
Thank you
video.
for watching.
Subscribe to the channel, follow us on Instagram, all those good things. So you can
hype us up, yeah.
So once you like the video, there's a hype option, so you can hype us up so that we reach the trending. It's a new YouTube feature. You can try it out.
And we definitely need it for this
For
one.
the hype, yeah.
Given the content in the video.
Yeah, it needs the hype.
It needs the hype.
Anyways, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you next time soon.